Chapter 580, The Nine Phoenix Cauldron. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The second strike was 10 times stronger than the first, and it might have even destroyed a saint. The black market saints were all seized with fear. If it were not for the presence of the 9 Serenity Sword Saint, they might all have scattered. The second attack was about to fall, when suddenly a black city soared over from the distance. All the black market saints stepped onto the city. An ancient, green, 9-legged cauldron flew out from the black city. It shattered the yin-yang fish mark in the sky and rammed into the cosmic formation. With a loud crash, supreme strength emanated from the ancient, 9-legged cauldron. A breach was opened in the cosmic formation. The black city took this opportunity to glide through the breach and disappear into the boundless mists and clouds. In the sky beyond drifted a distant voice, its echo reverberating throughout East Region Saint City. Shen Yin, we must have the life of the time and space descendant. You can protect him once, but definitely not twice. The Prince of the Eastern Region stood his ground, gazing up in the sky. No one could read the expression on his face. They only saw him wave his sleeve, and all the dark clouds within a 300-mile radius were swept away. Radiant sunshine reigned again. Everything seemed to have passed and East Region Saint City regained its calm. But this battleground was badly scarred with utter devastation. Neither the lightning nor the flames were quenched. With the retreat of the black market saints, 10,000 dead bodies were left, some with incomplete body parts, some charred like charcoal, others mangled in bloody piles. It was impossible to tell who were the Jins and who were the black market monks. Second senior brother stamped his foot angrily and said, "How detestable." They even managed to break through the cosmic formation and get away. Third senior brother Wonk said, "Unfortunately, the cosmic formation hadn't closed completely yet. Otherwise, they wouldn't have escaped even with the help of the black market's 9 Phoenix Cauldron." "What did you say?" Third junior brother. "You mean the cauldron we saw soaring here was the legendary 9 Phoenix Cauldron, the supreme holy weapon of evil emperor? Didn't you sense the supreme strength emanating from that cauldron?" Third senior brother Wonk continued. "Only the power of the 9 Phoenix Cauldron could breach the cosmic formation." "Wait a minute. I seem to recall that this 9 Phoenix Cauldron was sealed in the Saint Mountain of Saint Academy. How did it end up in the hands of the black market?" asked Zhongtao. The fact that the 9 Phoenix Cauldron was sealed in the Saint Mountain was a highly concealed secret, which only saints within the Saint Academy knew. Even someone of Wonk's rank and stature had not heard about it. Wonk's face flushed, and he asked hastily, "Is this true?" Zhongtao was startled by Wonk's reaction and could not respond in time. Instead he said, "Of course it's true. Didn't you know this?" Wonk's look in his eyes kept shifting. He was wringing his hands as he said, "Now we're done for." It looks like something momentous has happened in Saint Academy. Most likely the black market assault on East Region Saint Mansions was simply a feint. Their real intention was to seize the 9 Phoenix Cauldron. I was misled from the very beginning. I ought to have realized even if the black market wants to take revenge on our youngest junior brother, they wouldn't need to dispatch saints on such a massive scale. The East Region Saint Mansions was just a decoy. Their real purpose was within Saint Academy. Zhongtao finally reacted. Clapping his head, he still continued speaking quite casually, "Now that the 9 Phoenix Cauldron has been stolen, we won't be able to do anything about it even if we return. Better think about the problem in hand now." Third junior brother. Zhongtao looked in Zhang Yuochen's direction, and a complex expression shone in his eyes. "The black market won't let youngest junior brother off. Both of us wouldn't be able to fend off the 9 Serenity Sword Saint at all if he attacks again. In the past, if the black market had wanted to deal with Zhang Yuochen, they would not have gone all out to attack him. They would merely have dispatched younger warriors. But now, Zhang Yuochen's identity as the time and space descendant had been revealed. If the black market made another move, they would have chosen to kill him with a single strike. They would not have left him with any more chances. Dispatch a signal flare and notify master." Wonk gave a long sigh. Some calamity is going to rock the entire Eastern region. 1 day and 1 night had elapsed after the black market attack on East Region Saint City, yet the situation had not settled. Rather, it had intensified. From Saint Academy came the news that the 9 Phoenix Cauldron, once sealed by Empress Kaiyao within the Saint Mountain, had now been seized by the Black Market Excellence Hall owner. A total of 5 headmasters had remained behind to guard Saint Academy. In principle, no matter how powerful the black market was, it would not have been possible for them to remove the seal and get a hold of the 9 Phoenix Cauldron. Unfortunately, a black market mole had infiltrated into Saint Academy. It was the 6th headmaster of Saint Academy, Cauldron. He colluded with the black market excellence hall owner. The two of them had captured the 9 Phoenix Cauldron. Jointly attacked by the other 4 headmasters, Cauldron was, however, killed on Saint Mountain. On the same day, the Ministry of War dispatched troops to eradicate Cauldron's family, the Saint Gentry. Not only was Saint Gentry affected, after an all-out investigation of Saint Academy and East Region Saint Mansions, 7 powerful Saint families, 12 ancient lines, and 73 suzerains and families were found to have worked intimately with the black market. They all had a hand in this operation. Further investigation was ongoing. However, many more bloody annihilations appeared to be in the works in the eastern region. Countless suzerains and families would be extirpated. The jails of government offices and counties would be swarming with convicts. Only after he received some incoming information from the external world did Zhang Yuochen realize that the East Region Saint Mansions was just one important battleground. The real purpose of the black market was evil Emperor's 9 Phoenix Cauldron. In the days when the evil Emperor was alive, the Eastern region was the nerve center of the black market. It was a dark domain where demons roamed and the people lived in dire poverty. The power of the black market was then at its acme. Even the power of East Region Saint Mansions and the Jins nowadays could not compare with that of the black market then. The black market had only collapsed after Empress Kaiyao had slaughtered the evil emperor. After hundreds of years, the Jins, the Martial Market Bank, the Moon Worship Demonic Sect and the Yin and Yang Sect had grown steadily in influence. Finally, the land was partitioned by these 5 powers. The imperial court also sent troops, stationing them in the Eastern Holy Land to drive away savage beasts, eradicate evil cities, conquer new lands, and balance the various forces. The situation in the once chaotic Eastern Holy Land had gradually stabilized. The outskirts of the Eastern Holy Land were originally a savage land, sparsely inhabited and roaming with savage beasts. With the birth of human civilization came more than 12,000 commanderies, Yunwu Commandery being one of them. After several hundred years, the eastern region was no longer a dark land of the past. It had now become a flourishing and prosperous region where martial arts thrived. Although martial arts flourished even more in the 4 states of Center region, it was now practiced far more than during Evil Emperor's time. Thanks to Empress Kaiyao's administrative and military attainments, monks in the eastern region regarded her as a near deity. They were unable to tolerate anyone showing her an ounce of disrespect. The black market's seizure of the 9 Phoenix Cauldron caused a mighty shock which might upset the balance of the entire eastern region, plunging it once more into darkness. Of course, this was too important a matter for Zhang Yuochen to be involved. He was merely a monk of the second change in the fish-dragon realm. His prime consideration was to safeguard his own life. Concubine Lin lay in bed, having awakened. After resting a day and a night, she had recovered greatly from her injury. Concubine Lin was still very weak and her voice was feeble. Her first words were, "Chen what day is it today?" The 6th. Zhang Yuochen sat beside the bed, gently holding her hand. Concubine Lin heaved a sigh of relief. "Good thing I haven't missed your wedding. If I had delayed your marriage, how could I ever face your father in the underworld? And I couldn't face your ancestors either." Concubine Lin's voice broke, and she started sobbing. Huang Yanjun immediately approached her for consolation. "My marriage with junior brother Zhang isn't an urgent matter. Your grace must first recover and try not to think too much." Concubine Lin suddenly became rather flustered. She forced herself to sit up from the bed and grabbed hold of Huang Yanjun's hand, saying nervously, "You two must get married. Must definitely get married. Tomorrow is the 7th. You two must hold your wedding ceremony. Promise me." And she gave 2 coughs. Due to her anxiety, she had started to cough rapidly. Of course, Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanjun could not understand Concubine Lin. In her opinion, Since the Zhangs had undergone such a great ordeal and were almost wholly massacred, Zhang Yuochen must take on the grave responsibility of procreating the next generation. For an ordinary person like concubine Lin, martial arts and the Holy Road were not anything important. No matter what level of cultivation Zhang Yuochen had reached, it would not make her any happier than him bearing her a grandson. Therefore, Zhang Yuochen must wed Huang Yanjun as soon as possible. Their Zhangs needed descendants. Zhang Yuochen stared at Huang Yanjun, who, at first, gazed back blankly. Then, a rare bashfulness crept onto her face as she nodded at him. Zhang Yuochen said, "Mother, I give you my word. I shall wed senior sister Yanjun tomorrow. I won't delay the ceremony, even if it must be very simple." There was no other way. Such a colossal incident had occurred in East Region Saint City and the Jins had suffered so many casualties. If Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanjun were to carry on with their wedding, the ceremony must be a simple one. At this moment, a troop of golden-armored, beast-riding soldiers had arrived from afar and now halted by the gate of the East Region Saint Mansions. This detachment had only 100 soldiers, but each soldier was bursting with energy and full of vigor. They were indeed the best of the best. Wan Zeoi, clad in green dragon armor, perched on the back of a white flood dragon. He sat on the head of the flood dragon at the vanguard of the golden armor detachment. He gave a loud command, and the white flood dragon stopped at once. Wan Zeoi raised his head and gave the board of East Region Saint Mansions a glance. He chortled. "I have heard that just yesterday, the Chun's gate was wrecked by masters from Black Market. Today, they got themselves a new board." "Who is it?" Two half-saints dashed out from East Region Saint Mansions and stood at either side of the terrace, looking warily at Wan Zeoi on the head of his white flood dragon. Clomp, clomp. Hurried footsteps sounded. Two contingents had rushed out, surrounding Wan Zeoi and his 100 golden armored troops. After the uproar caused by the black market, the East Region Saint Mansions guards had naturally raised their vigilance. Any minor disturbances would draw in large contingents of guards. Wan Zeoi did not even deign to look directly at the two half-saints of the Juns. He completely ignored them. "How impudent! Don't you realize we are the Royal Golden Armor Troop?" A man riding the back of a golden armor beast gave a loud roar from behind Wan Zeoi. Instantly, a strong sound wave immediately quaked the surrounding contingents so badly that they were forced to back up. "The Royal Golden Armor Troops?" The unconvinced voice came from inside the gate. Third senior brother Wonk strolled out from inside the gate of the Saint Prince's mansion. He swept a glance at the Golden Armor Troops and finally rested his gaze on Wan Zeoi. This man could tame a flood dragon, a proper flood dragon, not just a simple Zhao. It was really a full-fledged dragon. Wonk's instincts told him that the man before him was absolutely brutal. He was not just any ordinary man. He became guarded and asked, "How do I address you, sir?" Wan Zeoi stared at Wonk with some interest and laughed. "You are all right. You are deserving enough to speak with me. My surname is Wan and I am under Her Majesty's orders to apprehend the criminal Zhang Yuochen." "Lead us on,"